Hello and welcome to Casual Magic, the show where we talk about the fun side of Magic the Gathering. My name is Shivam Putt, and Casual Magic is brought to you by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can get cool stuff, and you can use my code CASUAL to get 5% off your order. And then there's also Coalesce Apparel, which makes really cool t-shirts that you can get 10% off your order with the code Casual Magic, and Archidect, the deck hosting website, where you don't get anything because they don't sell anything, and I don't have a code to give you. I just like them, and they like me, so they support me. It's really kind of the best kind of relationship. I'm just like, hey, you know what? I love using Archidect. And they're like, we love it when you love using Archidect. And I'm like, this works out for both of us. And it's like, it really does. So, but today, for this mythical and mystical episode 99 or 98, depending on whatever I choose to put it up, I don't know. I haven't yet figured that part out. Um, I have brought back a returning guest, which I guess has been a theme for the past handful of episodes, but she hasn't been on since episode 10. Welcome back, my dear friend, ManaCurves herself, Chase. Hi, Chase.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so glad that we could finally make it work again. Weirdly enough, I know we've been trying to get you back on my show for I want to say months, if not years.
Yeah, it's been a recurring theme. I like to think of it as part of our sort of torrid. I don't know if you have a kid, you watch SpongeBob. Do you know that episode where Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob are in two different restaurants and they're like wistful? I feel like that was us. We were very wistful, but we just couldn't make it work. The song "This Kitchen Is Not the Same." It's a heartbreaker.
I've seen that episode. Yes,
It's good. It
my
tears
son
you
has just
apart.
gotten into SpongeBob. I've definitely been bobbing a lot more sponges lately. Um, So yeah, you've been up to a lot since the last time I talked to you, because I know you were just streaming before, but now
Mhm.
you have don't you have also a podcast and all this other nonsense?
Got a lot going on. I did have a podcast with Alex from the Spike Feeders, but things were picking up with my work and his work and with
Mm,
everything going on, so we decided to take a break on that. I do want us to get back to that. It just kind of depends on our schedules with my new job right now. It's like
mm.
so crazy.
It
I
is
work for
good to have
EDH Rec
jobs.
now. It is
Oh,
good for it's good to have jobs, but it's like
oh, you work for
so
EDH Rec?
yes, I do. I'm
Doing
their
what?
video editor.
Oh,
Full
that's sweet.
time. Yeah.
Wow, good for Jason.
I know, right? I mean, if my hair wasn't in a ponytail, I'd, put a strand behind my ear because it's, like, pretty
EDH
sick.
Rec is steadily growing into quite the thing beyond just being the resource that people like to swing at my head all the time when they're like, "But this card is number one on EDH Rec. How dare you not play it or ban it or tinker it?" I'm like, "Shut up, just shut up. I don't care. Play whatever you want to play. Play the cards you like, or play the cards other people tell you to like. Live your life. That's fine."
Oh, totally.
So, Chase, today I was watching your stream and I saw that you were building a deck with one of my favorite old school commanders, Roshin Meanderer,
Mhm,
who is like one of the first real Gruul commanders from, I guess, the dawn of the format. I think Shadowmoor is where that card came
I would
from
say Shadowmoor, I think
because
so.
it's a hybrid card or whatever.
Mhm,
But it's like this awesome, it used to be a staple of the format right alongside, all these really just old, grunky, like crusty old commanders. But
mhm,
it's such a cool card that I think has been really neglected because it says it's like two in a red or green. Tap it to add 4 colorless mana to your mana pool that you can only use to pay X costs.
mhm.
And I love that card. And in the decade or so since it's been printed, there have been way more cooler X spells and stuff that you can use. So I was just curious because you were like asking for hey, what should I build? And I'm like, Roshin Meanderer. I haven't thought about this card in a million years. And
Mhm.
you did. So
Yeah.
having not had that experience with this card from the dawn of time, what did you think?
I had a lot of fun with it. I've really come to discover that I only really like brewing things, especially on stream, if they it's gonna make me sound like a weirdo, but I like to adopt, like, the Marie Kondo way of deck building. Like, if I get, like, a nice feeling in my chest, then I like it, and I'm gonna do something with it, and when I saw that card, I was like, "Oh, that hits the sweet spot for me," because I really like a lot of mana, and I like doing fun stuff with mana, and I thought that'd be really fun. And it's a
Yeah.
house. It's
Dude,
really a house.
that card is no joke.
Oh, yeah.
I think actually even now it might even be stronger than it was
Mm.
just because of how many good X spells have shown up. Like, and it's such a pretty art. It's such
Oh
an
my god.
evocative artwork.
Stunning.
And yeah, and it's just like, wow, what a cool card that was, man.
Yeah.
For like a 30-cent little, random uncommon or whatever it is.
Mhm.
It's just I mean, one some of my favorite things to do, like, obviously, you can play Hydra Tribal, or you can play Fireball Tribal, or you can
Mhm.
do both and
Yeah.
have Hydras and Fireballs or, like, +1/+1 counters. So where did you think you would take this deck?
I really wanted to avoid Hydra Tribal just because, again, like, that didn't give me, like, the warm feeling in my chest. I just wanted to, like, explore, weird X things, and we did end up putting a lot of Hydras in there
Well, because
just
that's
because,
they
like,
fit.
those are the big creatures that do that. But it was really fun to do just because of how just broken you could make things. Like, I think the card's like, Unbound Flourishing
Oh,
or
that card
Unbounded
is so
Flourishing.
good.
Oh my gosh, I was goldfishing it on stream, and I was able to make I was able to pay, like, 12 for something, and then it ended up being, like, 24, and I'm
Oh,
like, "This is
no.
sick, I love this." And
Oh,
it was just
no.
so stupid and fun, I love it. We had, like, Hour of Devastation in there, we
So,
even put, like, Release the Gremlins, stuff like that.
for those of you who didn't play Modern Horizons 1 and don't know all of the mythics from that set, Unbound Flourishing for a 2 and a green enchantment. When you cast a permanent spell with a mana cost that contains X, double the value of X. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell or activate an ability, if that spell, if you have X in that cost, you copy it, and then you can choose a new target. That is so gross. That
Mhm.
card is so absolutely gross,
Yeah.
and it's hilarious. Especially if you do, like, I don't know if you've tried this before. I mean, obviously you just saw the card today, but there's a card called Hydra Broodmaster, which is
Mhm.
this it's this Hydra from like Theros or whatever. It's a 7/7, and it's got a monstrosity of X where you pay XX in green, and when it becomes monstrous, you make XX green Hydra creature tokens.
Mhm.
So if you, for instance, monstrous it for 2/2 and a green, so that then you get 2/2/2 green hydras,
Mhm.
or you can get 3/3/3s, 4/4/4s, whatever. It just scales in an absurd way. And when you couple it with that stupid Unbound Flourishing, you're suddenly just drowning in hydras. And it's hilarious. And then I don't know, there's like, yeah. That card is nuts. Everybody should play Roshin Meanderer. That card is just, I think it doesn't get nearly the love it used to get, and it's a
Mhm.
shame because the card's a house.
I definitely say, uh, Rasheen Meanderer walked so, Svella could run.
Right?
That is really cool. Mana Rock making, I
I
think
love
actually she's a
Stella.
giant too.
Yeah, she
Svella,
is.
oh my god, Svella was such a fun brew I did on my stream as well, ages ago. I even had that deck built too. I no longer have it, but it was so much fun to pilot. It's just so much fun to do gross stuff with a lot of
Swella is
mana.
what I think of as like a fair, like, it's a fair version of Golos or a
Oh, yeah.
fair Urza or something like that, you know?
Mhm.
I love that card. I really, I meant to build a deck with that, and I haven't. Maybe I should put them together and make a Svella Roshin deck that just, like, churns
Mhm.
out big dumb idiots at red and green, and it fills me with joy to think about, like, piles of mana just coming down.
Mhm.
Oh, man.
2 I got 2 cards for you. Strionic Resonator and Illusionist
Mm,
Bracers. That's all I gotta say. For
hell yeah.
Svella, so good. So
Oh my
good.
god. But yeah, but you're the Chandra girl. Of course, you're gonna love yourself
Mhm.
some
Oh my god,
bracers
yes.
and Strionics. Are you kidding?
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
One thing that's fascinated me to watch you over the past year, 2 years, or whatever, is how you're steadily becoming more and more and more hard spiky, and your decks are getting more and more and more messed up and just like brutal. And I condemn our friends to the north who've been taking you down this vile path, and, like, taking the poor innocent Chase I knew and turning her into just this shark.
It's fun. I can't help it. It's fun. It's so gross and fun to discover disgusting things to do. Sometimes I don't do them, but I like to
Yeah.
talk about them, and I think it's really fun.
I mean, look, I will never forget the fact that your first trip in once, like, lockdown opened up, you drove 12 hours north or whatever to New York to see your friends and then friggin' Hull Bridger them. Like, I
Yes!
haven't seen anybody for a year and a half. Hey, babies, I'm gonna prevent you from doing anything
I
ever
know.
again.
I know. I feel so bad because I
That was so
feel
messed up.
I feel as though I played a part, maybe indirectly, maybe not, in banning my boy Hole Breacher, and it breaks my heart so much. And I was watching, an episode
I'm
of
not gonna
Dice to
confirm or
Removal.
deny that, but
I was watching an episode of Dice to Removal, and Vince was talking to Prof about like a collab I did with him with Locust God and Hullbreacher, and I said, "Hey, I'm playing Hullbreacher Wheels," and and then I did it, and it just didn't like I guess it just didn't click what I meant by wheels, and then Vince knew, and then Prof
he
and
thought
Vince
you meant
joke.
cars.
Prof and Vince joked that they in jest they said, you know, like, oh, like ManaCurves got whole Reacher banned, and it broke my heart. But I also thought it was really funny, so I put it in my Twitter bio. In my Twitter bio, it actually says I got whole Reacher banned.
I mean, I'm not gonna say you were the sole and only reason,
Mhm.
but that card was definitely on the fence one way or the other.
My
Like,
boy.
look, I'll be honest, we were discussing Breacher and we were discussing Oppo Agent from the
Mhm.
day they were printed. Like,
Oh yeah,
Jeweled Lotus, Opposition, and Breacher were like the 3 cards that came out in Legend. We were like, "Hmm."
this could be a
But
problem.
Jeweled Lotus is like I think it's settled into a place it belongs. High power or like casual players who've got just expensive ass creatures that they want to put out. It's not ending the universe. It's
Oh
fast,
yeah.
it's kind of dumb, but it's like whatever, it's a mono rock.
Mhm.
Um opposition Opposition Agent was a card that like wasn't seeing a lot of play in the webcam world because it's hard to mess with like
Mhm.
tutoring someone's deck. But now that people have more open play, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, let's pay attention and see if that becomes a problem. But I
Mhm.
think lockdown helped in that people kind of got it out of their system and were like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, this isn't something I want to be doing.
Mhm.
And again, I think that's another card that's kind of settled in like high powered formats. Every now
Mhm.
and then you hear someone's like, they oppoed my Evolving Wilds. And I'm like, well, that person's a jerk. The card is not
Mhm.
necessarily the problem. Hull Breacher, though. Hull Breacher was a problem because everybody was like, oh man, I want to do wheels in Hull Breacher. And I want to play with the chick who came out in was it Ikoria? The red the red blue wheels
Riel.
based. Yeah,
Riel.
Riel.
Yeah.
And like because she was out, she was a casual commander, Hull Breacher's out. It's like obviously peanut butter and chocolate go well together. Let's
Oh
go.
yeah.
And that card was exactly like Leovold all over again, just crushing games. And
Mhm.
if look, I'm not saying that it's not for people who like it. There are definitely people who enjoy that kind of thing. God
Yeah.
bless them. May they enjoy. But if these things stay in the pools that they're supposed to be,
Mhm.
I don't care. If
Mhm.
they start going and wrecking games that are not ready for this,
Mhm.
emotionally ready, or they say like, "Oh yeah, it'll be fine," and they're like, "I didn't get to play any card," you know,
Mhm.
that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, totally.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to like lecture you. It's not your fault. It's legit not your fault. I'm pretty sure that the RC didn't even think about that.
What are
It
you
was
talking
more
about? I designed and made and printed the card, and I played it. So, like, what are you saying? I'm feeling very targeted and attacked right now.
It's funny, I have behind me a game made by one of Magic's behind the scenes luminaries, a dude named Mark Calderado, who used to run a lot of the events for Magic and run a lot of the GPs and stuff. And he made a game called I Feel Attacked. And so uh, I should show it to you sometime. We should play it on
Yeah,
stream. It's really fun.
that'd be
But
fun.
anyways, no, you didn't get Breacher banned, but boy howdy, did you help me justify it. I'm like,
I
look
can't
at this
help it.
horrible woman driving to punk her friends.
I
Poor
remember
Shuki
that.
didn't know what she was getting into.
I remember clear as day, Megan was like, "I cannot believe I need to take a picture." And then I was like, "Okay."
You're like, girl, I invited you into my house, and this is how you pay me.
In my own home, and I was like, "And I'll do it again."
On this, the day of my daughter's wedding, you come
Oh
to
my
my
god, I couldn't resist. And, like, now, poor defenseless me,
poor
I'm
defenseless
left
my foot.
I'm only left with 1 lock now instead of 2,
Alas.
and that hurts me. I feel like I'm owed at least 2 locks, and now I only have 1, and it's a planeswalker.
Damn it, Chase. What happened to you? You
I'm
used to be
sorry.
nice.
I'm still nice, I'm just not sometimes in a certain setting. I To be fair, I won that turn when I played when I
Yeah,
played
you did.
Hullbreacher.
Yeah, you did, because everybody
Like,
else. Walked away. That's
That's not
fine.
true. They walked away after I won.
Okay, well, here's my line. Have you put
Mhm.
Cursed Totem in any decks yet?
No, I have
Have you
not.
heard of Cursed Totem?
I have heard of Chris Totem. I think what Aaron Miller did the art for that, I believe?
Yes, he oh, good for you. Yeah, he did the new he for the new version that was in MH2.
Yeah.
Chris Totem is that the card that I use as the line between EDH and CDH.
Mhm.
It's basically a 2 mana artifact that said activated abilities of creatures can't be activated, which is to say your mana dorks are now just dorks,
Yeah,
right? They're just idiots who sit there and go like, I am
I
a one
guess.
one. Hello, friend. And Sakura Tribe is just like, I guess I'm hanging around.
Mhm,
Life is good here. It sucks. I hate that card, but it's also very, very good at a format echelon where it belongs, where it stops people and people have interaction and ways to deal with it. And there's a lot of really fun back and forthiness. Like I
mhm,
think CDH is really cool. It's
mhm.
fun to watch
Oh,
CDH,
yeah, definitely.
but you know me. I'm not built for that.
I'm not either. I tried once. I genuinely did try, and I think the only I played on, Mental Misplay Alan's stream, and it was a
Mm,
delight. I had a lot of fun, but I just could tell that it wasn't for me, and, um, I decided that after I turn 1 casted Godo, which
mm.
I felt my soul leave my body because I was like, "Oh my god, I did the thing." I did the cool thing, and then I tweeted about it, and then I immediately lost because I had to chuck my whole hand to do that, and it was a
Gee,
rough
but it felt
time.
real good.
Oh, yes, it did. Oh my god. It was so cool.
Oh, man. Go to Helm is one of my favorite decks, I think, in
Mhm.
CDH, just because it's clean, it's classic, it does the thing, and it wins. And you're like, I know where I stand with Godo.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you're dead or you're not.
Yeah.
Like Godo and Najila, and I guess now Winota.
Oh
Winota
my
are
god.
cool.
Winota's really good.
Okay, but anyways, that's not at all what I brought you here to talk about. I'm not here to waste our time talking about how you were a terrible person to your friends. Um, you're not. I love you, Chase. You know that. But you came to me with this really cool idea.
Mhm.
I wanted to talk about this new, not format, but variant, I guess, or like interesting building challenge
Yeah.
for EDH. And I
Mhm.
was wondering if you could explain it a little bit more.
Yeah, so it was actually inspired by one of your tweets that I saw, where we were talking about the, Camber and, Laureen, partner pair from the, Curse I wanna say Curse Bloodline or something, it was something Bloodline, the Streffen deck from Crimson Vow, and I remember you posted a tweet about, how one of the partners because of that misprint, one was a little bit less powerful than the other,
Oh, right.
and in my mind, I thought, like, if you had only seen one of those cards, you'd be like, "Wow, this is really cool. I wonder what the other one does." And they're definitely a little bit of on the lower power tier of what I would consider the partners to be, considering all the
Mm,
partners that we've experienced, which isn't a bad thing. And then I thought, well, I think it'd be really cool. What if you just gave somebody a partner and not a partner with, but just a partner, and you say, you know, take cards, build around this partner, and then you are paired with another person who is also given a partner to pair with your partner, but you don't know what they have and they don't know what you have.
so you each are basically you're given half a deck
Yeah.
and you build are you building 50 cards or are you building 100 cards?
So how I thought it'd be really fun was each person gets randomly assigned one partner, and then you take that and you find 50 cards with that partner, lands are not included because that would just
Mm,
be really difficult. You just put 50 cards that you feel like fit with that partner, and then once your I don't want to say partner because there's so many words with partner, but once your teammate has
teammate.
finished building their 50, you come together and you smush the decks together. You take them, you collide them together, and then you trim out the fat. Essentially, you can add 3 cards, but they have to be gold bordered. Only 3, no mana rocks, no anything like that. And then you
Gold
add
bordering.
lands. Yeah. So like, for instance, I think I'll have already done my thing. I'm playing with Stephanie Quad Nines. I chose her as my partner, and she got Kesket, I got Alharu, and when we smushed our decks together, we went, okay, this feels good. This feels nice. Let's see what else we can add. And we only are added We added Ink Shield. I think we
Mm.
added like Felice and
Oh,
like one other
gold as in
card.
multicolored, not gold border as in,
Yeah.
like, Gaia's Cradle from a World
Metal
Championship
worker.
deck. I was just like, "Wait, gold border? Like, you mean World Championship decks are
No, no, that'd be
gonna"
too confusing.
No, you mean, like, gold as in, like, multicolored cards.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
And you add 3 multicolored cards. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you can
sure.
to kind of smooth out the edges, and then you both choose lands, and then you have a deck. And we decided to do a price limit on it, so, like, no card can exceed $50. So, we thought
Individually?
individually, yeah. I know this is weird, this is crazy. It's like that one moment from, like, Sunny Oh, It's Always Sunny with, like, Pepe Sylvia. I'm, like, showing
Yes.
you, like, the lines of string and everything, but we we smushed the decks together, and then you pilot it together as a team against
Mm,
other people who did the same thing.
I
And
like this
yeah.
a lot because it sounds a lot I mean, it sounds a lot like, what I did with the original 15 partner pairs,
Mhm,
which is I built a partner cube, which
mhm,
is I built 50 half decks with lands and everything, and I left a couple of slots for, multicolored, like, dual lands that you can kinda slot in as, like so that you can always just be able to when you put these and then you roll a couple of dice and you take halves of the decks, smush them together, and whatever Voltron pile you have is
mhm.
now your deck with the 2 random partners. So
Yeah.
you've got like half a deck that works with one, half deck works with the other, and they just kind of by our powers combined become a really cool deck.
Mhm,
And I left some empty slots so you can put in like, your random signet or your whatever cheap like like your random dual land to just help you kind of like grease the wheels.
mhm,
And that way it gives you I'm I sleeve them all differently so that you can always separate them out again later. But yeah, it's basically it's like that way you have a blind kind of you don't know what you're getting into and you don't know how
mhm,
these cards work together, so it's kind of neat and it's super fun. But I like your idea a lot because having another person help build that deck
mhm,
adds an entirely new dimension to the idea. I love the idea of like
mhm.
especially since I'm taking you used like all the partners from Commander Legends or whatever.
Yes.
So there's like 70 or whatever billion 9 trillion partners that are now available to you.
Mhm,
And you just grab a partner at random, build half a deck. Somebody else grabs a partner at random, builds half a deck,
mhm.
and you guys have to like fusion. And
Yes.
I love it. Actually,
Yeah.
that sounds awesome. That sounds
Mhm.
like exactly what I want to be doing. Like that sounds rad, actually. That sounds really, really cool. Have you
It's
played it yet?
No, we're actually getting ready to do that, in a couple days, actually, which I'm really excited about because I know all of us were really excited. It started out as like I posted it on Twitter. I was like, "Hey, cool deck building idea," and then, I have, like, a little small friend group, and they're like, "We think this is really cool. We should do this," and so we did
Mm,
it, and we made up our own rules to, like, fine tune it, like the gold card thing, and we also made a rule, like, if you it was on, like, a spinning wheel that was
mm.
randomized, and if you got to choose Prismatic Piper, you could roll again or something like funny like that because we
I
thought
would
it'd
have
be
left
really
Piper off, I think, but
uh, I couldn't resist. We just wanted to, like, just be, like, absolutely
troll.
done with it. Yeah, it was really fun, and I'm really looking forward to it because all the teams seem to be really vibing. Like, at first, I was really nervous, as to how the teams would mesh in terms of, like, what they're building and the color identities, but so far, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams, and each of them are like, this feels good. Our decks feel good. There's some synergy here. We're not concerned about mana. So far, that was a major concern of mine. And so far, everyone feels really good about the deck building process. So I'm actually really excited to kind of dive in because it's also a trust exercise too with your partner, which is very funny
Do you know
because
who your partner is?
yes. So I ended up choosing my partner just because I was like, I want to build with like this person really badly. Sorry, Alex. I didn't want to
Mm.
build with you. I wanted to build with Stephanie. I left you to the wolves. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to do that. And I was like, let's roll the wheel together and then we'll meet up later and smush them together. But you could do it randomized too. It doesn't really matter. I
No,
just thought
did
it'd
you
be
know
fun to
what
like
her
choose.
partner card was?
No. No, she doesn't
Mm,
know who mine was, and I didn't know what hers was until we sat down
okay,
literally earlier this week
yeah.
to smush them together, and when we smushed them together, we freaked out because the synergy, oh my gosh, was
Wait, what was
there.
hers? Yours is Casket, the red,
Hers
like,
was
it's like
Kesket, which is the black artifact, like, Phyrexian thing, and then
oh, is that the
mine
golem
was,
one? No, hang on. Casket the
uh
Flesh Sculptor.
yes,
Sack
yes, yes,
3
yes.
other artifacts or creatures, look at the top 3 cards of your library, and put 2 of them into your hand and 1 to the graveyard.
Mhm.
Okay.
And mine was Alharu. just white, and it is a one counter token synergy.
Right, a Haru Solemn Ritualist, when it comes to the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter up to each of 2 other target creatures.
Mhm,
When a non-token creature you control with a 1/1 dies, make a spirit.
mhm.
I like that card a lot,
Yeah,
actually. That card's really neat.
yeah.
So how did these 2 cards don't look like they would synergize naturally.
Mhm. At first, that's what we thought, and that's why I was really nervous when I got that card because I was so mad at my spinner because it was a hair away from Ishai, and I was like, "I could
Oh,
have
that
had
would've
it
been
easy."
gross.
I was like, "Dang it." But, it's really fun because both of our lists synergized sacrifice and
Mm,
token generation with 1/1 counters. So, I
mm.
had a lot of I had, Basri's Lieutenant, I had Anointed Procession, stuff like that. Stephanie's list had Ashnod's Altar. We both had oh my gosh, Walking Ballista. I included Heliod. Like our lists were
Jeez.
actually pretty interesting. It was actually really funny because when Stephanie and I combined our lists together, out of all 100 cards that we had, we only had one card that was the same. We,
Wow.
and it was Walking Ballista. We both had Walking Ballista, and we were like, "We'll
I was
just cut
about to say, I'm
one."
like, it's really impressive that a black and a white deck can have a same card in the first place.
Yeah.
Did you guys put restrictions on things like Soul Ring or whatever, or like Mono Rocks?
We wanted to put a we did no we kind of did that with the price, I think. We wanted to
Mm.
have a couple, but it's really fun because Stephanie and I only had two mana rocks. We did Soul Ring and an Arcane Signet. We left it at that. I mean, we had Pearl Medallion. I had Pearl Medallion and she had Jet Medallion, but we actually ended up cutting Pearl Medallion because my mana values were a lot lower compared to hers because she originally had things like Shieldred and there and
Oh,
Drana,
geez.
and yeah, it was really funny. The way that went. But we did a restriction, so we did no mana crypt, no mana vault, stuff like that. We wanted it to be at a certain level, but not OG Willikers where our foot's on the gas. We wanted it to be a nice mid sort of
Gee
interaction.
whiz. It's funny, I didn't realize until I was down in Vegas when I was, like, selling and buying cards and stuff. I didn't realize that Mana Vault had become so expensive. Like, Mana
Oh.
Vault was always, like, the cheapest of the random Mana Rocks, and now it's, like, $1 jillion, and I'm like, "What
Mhm,
in the smack happened?" It turns
mhm.
out if you didn't just start playing with Revised or whatever, you probably just don't have a lot of M Mana Vault sitting around, and,
Yeah,
who
I don't
knew?
I
Who
don't think I
knew?
was alive during Revised. But
I think we went over this the first time,
yes, we
child.
did.
When I
I'm
was
sorry.
pointing out how you were younger than random card on my desk, i.e.
Desk.
this mountain goat that I've just picked up, signed by the mountain goat, which is actually from Ice Age, which is predates you,
Yep,
lady.
96.
God damn it. Why do I even
Uh,
talk to you? You're not even old enough for like I'm gonna break a law by talking to you or something.
I'm a baby, what can I say? But,
Oh my
it's also
god,
really
lady.
funny. It's always so funny. I'm
But
so
yeah,
Space
that
Jam.
seems really neat, and, I am super stoked to try to do that. How are you guys playing on Magic Online or something? Or Spell
Oh,
Table or whatever?
we're going to this is where it comes in. This is a test run to see how it shakes out,
Mm,
because it was such a fun, sort of, spur of the moment idea for us to do this with each other. I just thought it was gonna be a cool tweet, and then boom, it's out there in the world. Cool
mhm.
idea. Do with it what you
Somebody else
will.
figure out what they want, yeah.
Mhm. But, my friends really liked it, and they're like, "We should do a practice with it. This would be really good enough for content." And they're like, "If you want, we'll practice, and if it works out well, we have a good experience, and we play, you could do this." And I was like, "Okay, so what we're gonna do is, proxy up some stuff and play test with each other to see how the experience feels, because this isn't something that we're gonna take
Mm,
and put out into the world just yet, which is kind of why it's so casual, it's so play testy.
right.
And after this we're gonna kind of shake out the things in it that don't really fit, like should we have included lands, should we have let you add maybe more than just 3 cards at the end, stuff like that. But going forward, I think if it works out really well, that we'll probably do it on maybe MTGO, or even on Spell
I
Table,
mean, we
or
can
even
figure that
in
out later.
person, or at the next Magic Fest, and so on and so forth.
Whenever that is, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, man, I wish you had been there.
I
Vegas
wish
was
so too.
It was unreal how good that was.
Don't make me even more jealous than I already was.
I'm just saying, the last thing I did that weekend before I left was I got to play in a powered cube where I drafted the powered cube. The dude had all of his cards were first printing of whatever they were.
Ooh.
All of them were altered and signed by the artist. And because it's a power cube, that means all the
Mhm.
basics were alphas. All of the soul
Jeez.
rings and moxes and black lotus and everything were all alphas. The
Jealous.
monodrano, I mean, it's just like it was gross. It was absolutely. My deck had two moxes in it. You know what it's like to open up to draw your seven and be like, "There's like $50,000 worth of card in my."
Magic as Richard Garfield intended, or as I like to say,
It
Gilbert Gottfried.
it was it was rad. It was
Yeah.
rad. But yeah, anyways, may we be able to get together soon because I think that would be super fun.
I really
How
want to.
how have you been holding up in the pandemic? You've been doing a lot of content and just like churning out, man.
Yeah.
You've
Uh
become somebody in the audience since we talked last time.
I wouldn't say that. But I've been having a lot of fun with content, which is really nice. I'm like super happy. I'm doing a little Jones dance because now it's like my full-time job, which is so weird to explain to my family.
So, what do you do again? I sit in front of a computer all day and
Yeah.
shuffle cards.
Yeah,
What?
it's really crazy to explain it, uh, to my family because at first I was like, "Hey, I like this card game, I stream, and I write articles. It's like some extra fun money, quirky things." And then it's like, "Hey, um, now it's my full-time job. I get to pull up images of cards and Photoshop them and then make videos and then also write and then also
And your parents are
stream."
like, "You got a master's degree
I
from this?"
know, that I feel so bad. I genuinely feel so bad, and I feel weird when I think about it. I'm like, "I got 2 degrees, and I'm doing nothing with either of them."
Yeah,
It's
dude,
very
like,
weird.
I didn't mean to bring it up like that, but I was just thinking about the fact that, like, when we talked last and obviously we talk all the time, let's be real, but
Mhm,
when we talked last, it was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm writing up my master's thesis, and I'm gonna be done with this soon," and I was just like,
mhm.
"I'm not gonna lie, Chase, you don't come off as
Smart
a
person?
as an academic." And I don't
Mhm.
mean that in a I'm not trying to be insulting, but it's more like you don't put off the like, "Oh, yeah, I sit and grind at the books all the time" vibe,
Mhm.
right? Like,
Yeah.
because me neither. Like, I'm like super lazy at that sort of stuff, but you're hella smart. You're hella smart and you're incredibly intelligent and know all sorts of ridiculous stuff.
Mm.
And getting a master's degree in the pandemic is like insanely cool.
Yeah.
But now you're making videos about the top 10 soul rings in EDH.
Top 10 Soul Ring. Number 1, Soul Ring. Number 2, Temple of the False God.
Num Somewhere Benny Smith just rolled over and died, right? Like, it's like
It's
number 3, Worn Power Stones.
I I never thought I'd end up where I am, and, like, it's a very recent thing for me. Like, this is December, it was October, where I was like, "I can do this, I'm stable enough." I'm literally
That's so good.
it's why I didn't go to Vegas. It's like, I wanted to so bad, but I was like, I just got this job,
Responsibilities.
and also I'm setting up to move, and I'll be moving very soon, which I'm really excited about, and it's
Nice.
because I really wanted to move, and so it's it's weird because it doesn't feel like it's gonna, like, stay, but I love it so much.
Content gigs are always, like, trippy, but that's
Mhm.
awesome. I'm glad that you're able to like, that's so cool. That's
Yeah,
so
I'm
cool.
really
I love it when
happy.
people can find a way to make it in this stupid, addicting game that we play all the time.
I
Because
know.
like, all too often, Magic is just one of those things just like it's like sticking a hose at the bottom of your wallet and just saying, like, "Watch the money flow. Look, it's
Yeah.
disappearing just like that."
Mhm.
Where did it go? Oh, I don't know. I bought 2 packs of Modern Horizons. I don't know where it could have gone. It's like they're $10 a pop. Oh, really? Gosh. Well, I
Mhm.
guess I'll make it up with the cards I cracked, right? No. No,
Nope.
you won't. Absolutely not.
Just buy singles.
Yeah, well, you know, some of us really ought to do things that we preach but don't practice.
Oh, of course. It's It's definitely weird, specifically because of how I started. I get super sentimental and emotional at night. I'm a night person, which is a bad because I should be a day person. And 2 days ago was my 6-year Magic-versary.
That's wild
I
that
know.
you I was gonna say it's wild that you know that, but it's
Mhm.
not because I know I can date the exact time I came back to.
Yes, exactly. I remember very explicitly, I sat down on the floor of my college boyfriend's dorm room, and I played a kitchen table deck of mono black life gain with Zachrid Netheromancer and Acropolis region and, like, Zulport Cutthroat and Death Cultists.
That's a good deck.
Yeah,
That's a good
and
time.
ever since then and I was like, "Wow." 6 years ago, sitting on that floor, I just thought I would have not been doing any of that, but now I am, and it's, like, absolutely crazy.
Isn't it wild to think that the thing you got out of that relationship was not a long-term steady boyfriend, but instead a crippling addiction to cardboard?
I know, right? I honestly thought I was going to quit as soon as we split, but then literally Magic became, like, the pillar on which I leaned on,
Right?
and oh my god, best decision ever, but I just never expected that I would stick with it and it would stick with me this much. Without a
Right,
doubt.
like, it's funny because like, I like to talk crap about Magic all the time because it deserves it, but also at the same time, I'm not going anywhere, right? All of my friends are here. This
Mhm.
is one of the pillars of my identity. This is a thing that I enjoy more than anything else in the
Oh, yeah.
world. Is just talking and playing Magic, right?
Yeah.
Talking about Magic and playing Magic, and sometimes I enjoy talking about Magic more than playing Magic.
Oh, yeah.
But like lately, Standard has been. I liked Standard a lot during AFR when it
Mhm.
was like all blood in the snow and all these Ren and Seven mirrors and things like that. I guess that's not AFR. That was Midnight Hunt.
A
Was
Midnight
Midnight
Hunt
Hunt
was
AFR?
Ren and 7.
That was my favorite Standard then because it
Yeah.
was like Ren and Seven and who the hell was the there's a Lolth, Ren and Seven, and like Blood on the
Yeah.
Snow.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, wrath all your stuff, get my planeswalker back, do dumb things.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the most fun I've had playing Standard since Kaladesh Infinite Thopters. When I had like a really jank combo deck that involved two panharmonicons and like a whole bunch of like it was like a 5 or 6 card setup that I had to do that would make me infinite thopters,
Yeah.
and then reckless fire weaver to light you on fire
I
because I
meant
love that
oh my
card.
god,
I
Reckless
love that
Fire.
card.
I miss Kaladesh. Kaladesh was I'm not a standard person by any means, but I remember having the
Those cards were
most
beautiful.
fun during that pre-release. Oh my
Yeah.
god. I pulled Torch of Defiance, but even then,
Oh
like, I had a
god.
good deck. I did Rakdos, and I had, like, those rats that made energy, and then I ran a couple
Yes.
gremlins that made energy, and I had the oh my gosh, it was so fun.
you know
Unlicensed Disintegration,
It's
and
funny, like,
oh my
people
god.
talk crap about energy all the time and how it ruined Magic and those, like, ruined Standard and everything. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, fair," but also it was hella fun.
Oh, it was
Like,
so much fun.
I love playing energy so much. I loved
Yeah.
energy decks. I loved that limited format a lot and drive just God, I love it. I love energy. I loved, like, freaking Aetherworks Marvel and spinning the wheel and seeing what comes out the
Oh
top
my god, yes. It
and
was
just
such a good time.
mm. God, I love that set. I hope that when we go here's my prediction, though.
Mhm.
We're gonna go back to Kaladesh, and we're gonna see it for, like, 10 minutes, and it's gonna be leveled by the Phyrexians. That's what's
I
gonna
was just
happen.
about to say, I literally in my head, I went, "Wait a minute, they mentioned Phyrexians in the story, and
Yeah.
Kaladesh has metal."
Here's
It's
what's
gonna
gonna happen.
happen.
Let me just show you what's gonna happen, right? Like, I have no forward knowledge of the story. I'm just hypothesizing based on what everybody has read. 1,
Mhm.
Rushme has built the bridge that Tezzeret stole, right? The
Yes.
bridge that lets her see the planes and see through time.
Uh-huh.
And when she built that bridge, that was a bridge that Bolus used to bring his soldiers from Amonkhet to Kaladesh during War of the Spark, right? And when Rushme is using this bridge, she's like seeing all the different planes and traveling the world. And it's like, there's one where it's like, oh, there's a weird drop of oil here. I don't get it. Oh, well, whatever, oil, NBD. And the rest of us are like, oil. And then so we've got this greasy ass bridge, and Tezzeret, Mr. Like Cat 5 dreadlocks over there is just sitting there with his grease ball in his stomach. I guarantee you, A, we're gonna see a Phyrexianized Tezzeret.
Ooh.
because he's already the master of metal. His arms, like, if you look at him, his flesh has been falling off, and he's going to be like Terminator Cyborg. And
Mhm.
like Vorinclex has already shown that he can travel
Mhm.
through time, lose his flesh, and be like, "I am Terminator," you know.
Yeah.
And Klex is hopping around the plains, going to the Rainbow Bridge in Kaldheim. Um, they're going to go and use Rushmy's Bridge to go back to Kaladesh, take all the stuff, Phyrexianize the hell out of it, and then just
Mhm.
invade the universe. Because at the end of Dominaria, Karn is like, I must go to to New Phyrexia and solve my problems. And everybody's like, bye, Karn.
You know, as one does. Yeah, typically.
You know, when you're a silver cyborg with nothing better to do with your life. Um, so I guarantee you, in sometime in the not this year, because we know all the sets for this year,
Mhm.
but like Neon Kamigawa is cyberpunk town. You
Oh,
think
yeah.
there aren't going to be crazy like Phyrexians going on in there?
Did you see that playmat from the Kamigawa? Did you see it? It got posted on Twitter.
I think I saw it.
If that's what we're in store for, I'm excited. It
It
looks
looks sick.
amazing.
It looks like
I'm so excited.
it looks like Blade Runner meets Tron or something like that. And I'm
Yes,
like
exactly.
I'm like here for it. I think it looks super sick. Um, but I fully expect that we're going to see Kamigawa lay down the line, and
Mhm.
Phyrexians are going to start sneaking around and getting ninjutsu to stuff. We're going to go to New Capenna, and I think New Capenna, you're going to see. I know we're going to see Ob Nixilis. I'm going
Yeah,
to bet that we're going to see Elspeth there because I
yeah.
think that's the plane she came from. That's my hypothesis. I don't know for sure.
I
I
thought
hope it
Elspeth
is.
I thought we knew where Elspeth came from. Did we
No,
not?
we know she came from a plane that was destroyed by Phyrexians. I think
Okay,
she
okay.
might have actually been from Phyrexia itself, which would be
Okay.
wild to think about. But who knows? Maybe not. Maybe New Capenna will just have something else, and I just want Elspeth to be in the story again.
Listen, I'm just too excited for Too Fast, Too Phyrexia.
Right? Dude, look, we're gonna get the Brothers War, and if the Brothers War not gonna set up a Phyrexian story, I don't know what it's gonna do.
Exactly, it's too
Right?
perfect.
Let's be real. So yeah, Phyrexians are gonna come, and we're gonna go to back to Kaladesh, and there's gonna be no energy, it's just gonna be oil, and everything's
Mhm.
gonna be dead.
I love
And I'm going to be like, that's what happens when I ask for things. I get them and I'm sad. Um,
it.
but that's going to be neat for like 3 years from now.
Yeah, I know, right?
So when we get to like episode 300, we can come back and talk about how the Phyrexians came and ate my sandwich.
And
Um,
resurrected Urza and made an Urza
oh, the
Terminator and
Urzatron, the
Urzatron.
real Urzatron.
Oh my god, the real Urzatron. Tap for 7 mana.
Oh god. Oh my god. It'll be like Caldra complete, except it'll be like Urza. Or like
Yes.
maybe it'll be Mishra more than Urza. It'll be like
Ugh.
it's Mishra. Yeah, no,
It's
screw
Mishra
that.
time.
Yeah, dude. Everybody's like, "Oh, Mishra's an anagram for Rushme," and I'm like, "That's because they're both Indian names, goober. They're not anagrams for anything. They're real people names." like, like,
Oh my god.
like, don't be stupid, please. There's plenty of weird conspiracies we can have. That's not one of them.
I love
What we're
that.
gonna find out is that Mishra was Raven Man the whole time.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. 2 Stormcrows in a trench coat.
Jesus Christ! Just after the crow storm, right? It's like, um. So, have you built a paper deck lately?
Yes. Oh my gosh. We can talk about my cursed sleeves. So,
Oh my
I
god! Oh
Hold
my
on. I
god!
have them I have them right here.
I
I
can't
have
believe
them
you
right
did this,
here.
Chase, though. That's still just like, when you told me, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Is this the silliest thing I've ever heard of?" Why don't you, for the audio listeners, oh, for Christ's sake, they're real. Please, for
Look
the
at
listeners, would you describe what this abomination is?
So, uh, amidst the panini, as I like to call it, she even posted a picture on Twitter of, like, the
No,
before
Channel Fireball
times.
posted a picture of me.
Okay, Channel Fireball posted a picture of him holding up one of those oversized cards that you could win, and he's, like, smiling and just, like, holding the cards like, "Yeah, I'm having a good time," and it became kind of a little miniature meme on, Magic Twitter, and people just started photoshopping the
Like,
funniest
what was
things.
on the card?
What was on the card? And I was like, "Well, I don't have anything clever." So I photoshopped a very, like, on purpose, a poor, like, MS Paint
It
tie-dye
looks so
rainbow
janky.
background. It looks so janky. I posted a picture, it's like an MS Paint tie-dye background, and I did a picture of myself where you know, like how like 40-year-old men on Facebook or like on like Tinder when they're trying to date, like do take a picture from like down like this, and they're like looking down, you can see like their chins and stuff. I did that, um, where I'm like looking just like stone faced. It's like from like down
It
looking
looks
up
like the world's
picture.
worst yearbook picture.
It really does. And then I did uh, a star with thumbs up. And then in Comic Sans, I wrote, Chase is mythically cool. And I tweeted that out. And I said, wow, she was so great. You're such a wonderful person. Thank you for, always being my friend and supporting me or something like that. And when Dragon Shield finally made their custom sleeves available, to the US,
Jesus Christ.
I was like, I know what I'm gonna make, but I didn't want to be a creepy person. So
You asked me.
I messaged you and I went, hey, listen, that weird thing I photoshopped like over 4 months ago? Can I get those on sleeves? And you went, oh, just the thing that you put on the card? And I'm like, no, I was hoping I could get you in there too.
And I was just completely dumbfounded because I'm like, "What the hell are you like?" Okay, so this picture of me is me holding a giant Ravnican guild planes that
Mhm.
I'd been given by the hermit druid at the Las Vegas because I've always wanted to have a big card,
Yeah.
and obviously I love that planes. I love planes. It was a Celestial one, and I'm just super stoked to have it. And everybody just photoshopped the hell out of it. And Chase comes to me, he's like, "I want to take this picture and put it on a sleeve," and I'm like, "Are you high? What in the hell is going on?" And it just looks so ridiculous,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's so hilarious. I mean, it is the
Love
dumbest
to.
thing I've ever seen in my life, Chase. I cannot believe that you went and got 100 friggin' pictures of my that's more pictures of my face than I have.
I love
It's
them.
so ridiculous.
I love them so much.
I can't believe it exists on a sleeve.
Oh,
What are
yeah.
you putting in that deck?
That was a point of much contention between me and my friends. I was like, "What am I gonna do? Should I do Boros? Should I do zombies? Because you have your Grimgrin deck." And
Yes.
then I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm gonna put my undeck in these." So I'm building an uncommander, and I was like, "These are the perfect sleeves for a
Yes. Yes.
dumb, just illegal thing." I was like, "These are perfect." So I am currently in the
I can't argue
process.
with that. That's amazing.
Exactly, which leads back to the question you asked me, am I building any paper decks? I'm currently building 2. One which is housing your sleeves, which is, in my undecked silver bordered. It is piloted by Surgeon General Commander, and it is
That deck
a
is
transmute.
go.
Yeah, it's transmute. It's really cool. I think it's transmute or,
Mutate.
mutate. No,
Surgeon General, isn't that the one that does mutate and meld?
it's mutate and 2 other keywords. It is augment, enchant, or mutate. Those are the words. It's augment. I'm building an entire commander deck with just like augment, and I am actually trying to have 0 black border cards in here. I'm trying to have it just be a goofy, fun experience. So augment cards. I have playtest cards from the mystery booster packs in here because I thought some of those were kind
Yeah,
of
I really
fun.
wanna
And
build that deck. That
it's
because
fun.
mutate is one of my favorite mechanics, augment is one of my favorite mechanics, uh, enchantment is one of my favorite I mean, why don't I have this deck, Chase? This is, like, exactly my favorite possible deck. That's the
Mhm.
deck where you put in all the, host and augment cards, and you put in all
Yeah.
the mutate cards, and you put in all
Mhm.
your auras and stuff. That is okay, I approve. I give you my blessing to have Surgeon General with my with my face on the back.
I love it.
It's
I'm
so
gonna have to
dumb.
get you to, like, sign one of my extra
Oh my
sleeves or something.
god. The stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my
Oh,
life.
yeah.
Uh, that's delightful. That's real delightful. I finally built my Corval deck, and I got to
Ooh.
play it at Vegas, and I played
Mhm.
it against Brian Kibler and, like, some other folks at the table, and I beat Brian Kibler, the Dragon God, with Corvald, and that was really all I needed to do in life in order to say, "I have done it, the thing." I beat a Hall of Famer who is known for dragon decks with the most broken dragon deck,
Oh, yeah.
and, I felt good about it. Not gonna lie.
Excellent.
I love Corvald. Corvald is like it makes me so sad that
Mhm.
everybody hates the hell out of that card because it does everything I wanna do in life. Kind of just,
Chunned
like,
'em up, you know?
just hit people real hard with dragons and grow things really big. It's
It's definitely gross and brings me much sadness to my heart, but I can't complain because I like Hull Breacher. So, really, in all
because you're a gross
honesty,
degenerate as
because
well.
I'm a gross degenerate, and it's finally time that I come clean. Sorry that I like to lock people and do cool things and look good while I do it. I'm
As
sorry.
long dude, as long as you're not one of those people who does, like, make all my land indestructible Armageddon, I think you're fine.
Oh, you no, no,
Um,
no, no, no.
yeah,
I do,
Armageddon a step too
Toxrill and
far.
Cormorspell instead. And Urborg, sorry. Toxrill, Urborg, and Cormorspell.
Toxrill is so cool, but
Uh-huh.
boy, does that card give me indigestion.
Indigestion.
Like, it's just like, look at this stupid card. It's just like it gives me heartburn to read this because it says at the beginning of each end step you put a slime
I
counter. On each counter you
no.
don't control,
I
and
love
control
it.
creatures you don't control get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. That is disgusting.
It's so
That is
good.
absolutely filthy, this card.
I wanna shake the
And then
hand of the person who designed it. I love it.
when it dies, you make a 1/1 black slug, and then it's got that
Mhm.
stupid blue pip on there for, like, no good reason.
I know. When I saw that, I went, "It's Demir?
Yeah,
Oh,
why?
yes,
Why?
please." Oh, it's so great.
Toxrill and Turgrid, man, like, I don't know. It turns out they go really, really well together. But,
It's just too beautiful.
Turgid, I hate that stupid card so much. But I think people have also, like, kind of wait, does that count as sacrificing? No, that's not sacrificing, they just die. So, Turgid doesn't work with that. But, I mean, I feel like the 2 of them can get along just fine
Oh, yeah,
anyways,
they're buds. They're
'cause
pen
they
pals.
want you to do the same thing, they just want your stuff to die.
Yeah, burner.
But
Totally normal.
what a card, and they're like, "Yeah," 'cause I was talking to the person who designed that card, and
Mhm.
she was like, "Look, it costs 7." I'm like, "It does, but it's in black, that's not a real number.
Ooh.
It's not 7."
Get a pop a heartless summonings in there, you know?
Yeah, like,
You're doing
so that all your
great,
slugs will die.
and all your
But
slugs
then
will
you're
die,
like,
but just aristocrats, just,
yeah,
sprinkle them.
aristocrats, man.
Sprinkle 'em there.
Toxtrol is I think Toxtrol is one of those cards I looked at and I'm like, "This looks like I would have a blast building it, and then I would be really, really sad the first time I played it."
I had so much fun with that deck tech. I did that for my stream. I wrote an article about it, and let me tell you what I love about it is it makes your opponents not wanna cast creatures because they're gonna get those counters and they're gonna die at each end step, right? Well, then you're like,
Each
"Oh."
end step, every creature, that is so stupid.
And you're like, "Oh, well, I don't wanna cast creatures." I'm like, "Well, fret not, it's okay. You can still destroy their other things by giving them creatures." You have, like, what, like, I think it's, like, Hunted Phantasm. You
Oh
could
god.
do a Resculpt and destroy one of their artifacts and give them a bird, and you can kill that bird. You could Curse of Swine, exile some of their stuff, give them little pigs that you could just destroy. You could Rapid Hybridization, you could Pongify,
Oh my
give them
god.
tokens, kill those tokens by all means. Like, that's where the blue came in on my deck building stream was I'm going to find ways to give you things so that I can kill them. And it was
That's
so
so
much
cute.
fun. It was
Oh
so
my
great.
god, I love that.
It was
I
so
love
great.
that so much. Just, like, donate. Just put donate in that deck.
Yes, it
What a
was so awesome.
God, this card is so stupid.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like it if it said your upkeep, it would be bad,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it says each upkeep, which is
Uh-huh.
messed up. It is messed up. Now,
Mhm.
what you need to do what makes me mad the reason I'm mad that there's a blue pip in here
Uh-huh.
is because if that blue pip wasn't there, I would put this in freaking, Hapatra, which is
Ooh.
just also, like, putting on just -1 min I mean, this isn't putting -1/-1 counters, but
Yes.
it's got it work they would work together
They win.
anyways,
Yeah.
and it just seems like you want to have this in, like, decks with, like, Viridian Longbow and other things. Oh,
Sudden
what is
spoiling, you
sudden
know?
spoiling? God, this
Just
card is messed up.
everything's
Just
dead.
put, like, Toxic Deluge and Black Sun
Yes.
Zenith and
Oh, so good. Delicious.
okay,
Just
well, enough
yes.
of that, Chase. You've now thoroughly ruined my appetite,
I'm sorry.
for all things sluggish. Goddamn slugs. Toxrill, what a card, man.
I know.
I'm almost worried that these guys are focusing too much on Commander, and then they make cards like this, and I'm like, "I think we'll be fine." This
Yeah.
card is so weird, and the people who wanna find it fun will find it fun,
Uh-huh.
and the rest of the people will be like, "We're just gonna not think about that because there's 12 other cards I can build out of."
Exactly, which is what I love. Like, I definitely I feel a certain type of way about making cards for commander players in, like, a standard set. I do feel some type of way about that. Like, I love it, but I don't.
Mhm.
But because we're getting so many, you don't really have to worry about the few because there are so many. I mean, it's
That's the one that
crazy.
that's why, like And to bring it back to banning for 10 seconds, like that, every time people are like, "Oh, you need to ban this or that card," I'm like, there are 800,000 commanders.
Mhm.
Like, there's always gonna be more commanders being printed.
Mhm.
Chill out. Let the people
Yeah.
have their fun for a day. They will get tired of it and move on, and we will be back to playing other weirdo fun commanders in a day or 2. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like
I mean
Turgid, I was super worried about. Turgid
mm,
came, people tried it, people played a game or 3, and then we're like, this is
mm,
not really fun, and people
yeah,
keep killing me on site, so I'm going to just take this deck apart." And I'm
yeah.
like, problem solved.
A
I
lot of the
didn't.
times, these they really do kinda solve themselves in certain situations, like, with Op Agent, we talked about how
Mhm.
with webcam play, you can really use it to its full extent, so that kinda solved itself, and then, even then, like, the one major card that it was really good with, Marlin of the Morn Song, she's not really, like, a popular commander
Nobody
card,
is playing Marlin.
she's cool, but, like, not that many people play her because, like, her value is still too good. Tutor instead of draw? Okay.
Dude, Marlin is a messed up card.
I love it.
Marlin of the Mornsong is a messed up card.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, you could do the Oppo lock with Marlin, but okay, congratulations. Like, that's not very fun.
Yeah, where's the fun lies in the fact that you could just get whatever the heck you want and just start spell slinging. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, that's so
like
fun.
that card is nuts. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think Commander is a very self-regulating format, and people like to
Mhm.
like harp on the fact that, oh, we banned a billion cards, but it's really not that bad. It's only the cards that get banned are things that are just so detrimental to the overall enjoyment of everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, look, I'm not trying to say that people don't enjoy Hull Breacher. Obviously, you do, but like sometimes, look, it's just not it's just not simpatico with the format, and that happens sometimes.
Well, in all honesty, like, even though I mourned and I'm still mourning, by the way, the ban of my beautiful baby boy Hull Breacher,
I mean,
I
I had a foil one that I cracked out of my box. I'm mourning too. Come on, it's still
I
sitting here. Like, you should have sold me, idiot. And I'm like, I didn't.
I still look at it and I'm like, I can definitely see why this was banned. And I can't really argue with it. Like part of me
Yeah,
wanted to because, I felt personally attacked for the love of my life. But like at the same time, like I really do understand like the criteria for banning cards. I mean, it makes really sense with the way the format is. It's really hard to have like WotC sort of regulate it in terms of rules, and I'm really glad that we have like the people who made it, who care about it, who want to see it be cultivated and continue to be regulated into something that is inclusive and fun for everybody. Because at the end of the day, that's like what the heart of the format is. That's how
right.
I have all my friends. That's how I'm doing what I'm doing right now is because I felt welcomed and I had fun in a pod.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Exactly. And people are, I mean, that's all I want. I just
Mhm.
want people to have fun. And some people are like, well, you're stopping me from having fun by taking away the cards that let me have fun. I'm like, okay, well, we need to talk about your sense of fun and
Mhm.
how it's not letting other people play the game, but that's a different issue for a different podcast.
Yeah.
Um, I'm glad that you were able to come back, Chase. I think
Oh, yeah.
I love watching you grow in the community. I think you're doing such a good job. Your streams are super fun and your decks are super interesting. So I don't know, it's cool. And this format sounds rad and I totally want to play it. So if folks wanted to become fans of yours like I am,
Mhm.
where would they go find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at ManaCurves, where I post most of my content, poorly cultivated memes, a couple of 3 a.m. posts because I can't fall asleep.
Yeah, like
Uh,
you're sitting here like, "Oh, I'm East Coaster, I need to go to bed." And then I'm like, "You're, like, up past me. Like,
I'm
I'm
s-
going to bed before you, and I'm 3 hours earlier, so you don't have an excuse anymore, woman. What are you
I
doing?"
know I am youthful, but I'm also old at the same time. My schedule's really freeform with my job, so I'm kind of like like, it is what it is, but you can find me posting 3 a.m. tweets sometimes where I get really emotional about my place in the community because I really appreciate everybody.
Oh my god. Okay, before we go on, I need to stop for a second. Your friend and mine, Logan, Seraph6,
Yeah.
just posted something on Twitter that is the most disgusting thing I've ever read, which makes me full of joy and laughter. So he swung 37 3/3 Saproling tokens into a wall of probably close to 200 1/1 spirit tokens. All of them were blocked. In the post combat main, he casts Hero's Downfall on his Tendershoot Dryad. 37 1/1 Saproling tokens die with 1 damage on them. Slimefoot and Vindictive Vampire deals 74 points of damage to his opponents.
It's amazing.
That
Beautiful.
is Commander. That is
So
that is
good.
what I live for,
I
right?
live for
Like,
it. I
oh my god.
love it. Love it. The
I love
higher
it
the
so much.
number, the closer to you are to
Yeah, right?
just top tier.
The
Love it.
more tokens that die, the closer you are to God. That's all I'm saying. This is like that's what I wanna do is I wanna build a ton of tokens and then watch them die and take you with them.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's like Pokemon, right? Like, what is it? Destiny's Bond or, like, stuff like that where it's like, "I'm gonna take this attacker with me." And it's like, "Yeah, let's go."
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Okay, that's how you know it's been too long when we start talking Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, my friend, Casual Magic has been brought to you by Cool Stuff Inc., Coalesce Apparel, and Architect. You can find it anywhere podcasts are sold or at Cool Stuff every Monday and every Tuesday. You